How do you define domestic violence? I know it's about relationships, but what fits within that definition of domestic violence?
So for me, the first thing is that it's a cradle to grave experience, right? You can be any age in order to be fall within the definition of domestic violence. And the second is I think that it's a relationship characterized by intimacy and trust, and that's a very broad definition. So that means that it could be what we usually think about, which is two people engaged in a romantic relationship, but it could also be a caregiver relationship, parent to child, child to parent, caregiver that is hired to take care of an elderly person or someone who's disabled. I think that intimacy and trust is a very broad definition, but all of domestic violence falls underneath that.
So, and sexual violence is quite similar. So, while there is a minority of individuals that are assaulted by strangers, the majority of individuals know the person that sexually assaulted them. Um, if you look at our general social survey in Canada, most often it's a friend, a neighbor, or an acquaintance. And I'm quite sure that a family member would come quickly after that. And I think that's one of the challenges for people in terms of defining what's happened to them and reaching out for help, um, is when the offender is someone that you know or you trust, or even someone that you might love. It makes it really, really difficult to understand how this crime happened. And there's a tendency for the survivor to blame themselves.
Which is very similar with domestic violence, right? That there's a lot of internalized blame and internalized shame and minimization of their experiences. One of the things that we know is that victims of domestic violence will often talk about the experience of the violence. So I was hit, I was shoved, I was pushed, I was confined. But they won't often share their experiences of the sexual violence that also happened within that event because of the shame that they feel, because of not being able to contextualize that as also being an experience of domestic violence.
Yeah, it seems like almost the closer the relationship, the more difficulty it is to recognize that a crime has occurred and how hurtful it is and to reach out for help.
Absolutely.